Okay. All right. Let's get started. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for July 2nd, 2020. Hope you're doing well. The Qs are up 1.07 here. We got a little less than 30 minutes here. Don't expect the market to move too much here into the last half hour. Q's up about 1%, SPY shy of 1% there, about 0.9, 0.87 there. Coming in a little bit. We talked about this week how we had this reversal on Monday, and we're going to be bullish over the day's high there. We just continued to grind higher and then got a gap up today. So bullish bias, you can see played out here. That was our expectation after the reversal that we had off the lows. Okay, so going into next week, Monday, still going to be bullish here on the Qs and SPY. All right, Qs, new all-time highs here, right? Working off of that daily buy setup. We even pointed out last week when we were talking about the potential follow-through for this red bar, lower. Wouldn't want to see the Qs trigger the daily buy setup. That would cancel out our bearish bias that we had going into the weekend. That's exactly what came about. We even saw the reversal that kind of clued us in that was going to happen. So that's why we had to shift back to bullish bias at the beginning of the week. Okay, so tried to move lower, quickly got reversed there. And so bullish bias there on the Qs and SPY. Okay, so not that much different than what we were talking about earlier in the week. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little bit of a pullback here next week. But still going to be bullish overall, expecting sell-offs to get bought. Okay, all right, let's go to today's plays here. Actually, the favorite gap for me was the PFE. Okay, I like that it was gapping over this red bar, like the room up above. Thought we could kind of fill up this red bar here, maybe get back up to resistance there. But right at the open here, it got sold. Okay, now it's not my style of play here to try to pick the bottom on something that's showing me a lot of downward pressure, a lot of selling pressure. Now I know it did move back up, okay, but once we go over the ACAM, you'll kind of see kind of the difference there. So I mean, this eventually did move up, did follow through on the gap, but just wasn't the way that I wanted to see this play start off. Now what we did play had a call on this AKAM on this 2-minute pullback here. 1 minute had a base breakout here. So that was the play here. We played it, gave it some room there to trigger. It was over 111.35 by 110.55. Yeah, gave it a few cents in either direction because this does have a little bit of spread. Not enough that it was a problem. I'm fine with 5 to 10 cent spread, especially on something that's this big. We're playing it with an 80-cent stop, so I'm fine with that. Notice how it started off the day, right? Initially came in, but then quickly negated that bar, right? There's no follow through to the selling, unlike the PFE, which started off the day getting sold, right? And then you can see kind of continued that downtrend. There was no downtrend, no follow through to any selling in the ACAM. It's proving to me its strength. Now, what I also really liked about this ACAM is look at this weekly breakout. Base, 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 and then today doing the breakout with the gap. Okay, so pretty bullish there on the weekly. The daily, we're clearing over all of this, right? Because we already saw all of this consolidation on the weekly. Okay, so we got a good time frame alignment on the daily, on the weekly, breakout on the weekly, and then we get a little pullback there, and then that consolidates a bit on the 1 minute there. So I like that a lot. So this is my kind of play. And when I say I liked the PFE initially, I liked the gap, but it never set up for me, right? That's knowing that's not what I like to trade. And it's not that there weren't opportunities long and short. I know what I'm looking for, right? I'm looking for something that showed me a lot of strength, that has a good larger time frame pattern, because those are the ones that are more likely to continue all day. Because what's happening here today, right, what's causing this wide range green bar, all this volume to pick up, is it's also people trading off of the weekly, investors, trading off the weekly, the daily breakout, right? It's not just your day-to-day market makers or scalpers, right? Something special is happening today. We have an event. It could be that they're in love with whatever the news event was. Not even sure what it was. I think maybe this got an upgrade or something. Maybe people are following that analyst, right? You don't really care so much the why, so much as, what is the setup? What am I playing here, right? So the strategy here, right? We got a 2-minute pullback. 1 minute was a base breakout, right? And looking to stay in this as long as we could. We did take out eventually, I think, around 113.50 is where we finally took that last bit there, because at that time we didn't really have a good place to trail. We just were staring at this, wide range green bar to start off. But if you had decided to hold a runner, you'd still be in it here into the close, even up above kind of where my last exit was. Yeah, so a little bit above where my last exit was. So there was potential here to hold this all day. The 65-minute here never got violated, so you could have held a runner and been fine. I just didn't know, where the trail was going to be. Seemed like a lot that we would potentially have to give back. And I like to use bar by bar more than pivots. It's just a little bit less of a judgment call on my part. Is this a good pivot? Is this a good pivot? These kind of things. If it's bar by bar, the lower that bar is the lower that bar. There's really no discrepancy there. So, and I know some really good traders who, this kind of thing, especially this kind of stock, just isn't their thing, isn't the kind of thing that they're comfortable with. And then I know some traders who, played this with me, who very much are looking for the same type of setup, the same type of strategy, and even our management varies a bit. So I think at the end of the day, what I just want to reiterate is to really try and trade, what speaks to you, what works, what you have confidence in, and that confidence founded in results, right? To do that as much as possible. I was telling them even today here, I hope that there are some people at the end of the day still in it, because it's not that, as I manage this in real time for the room, it's not that it's because I think, no one can do better than I can as far as managing the play. It's because I want to give you an example of what I'm looking for, how I intend to manage, how I intend to take profits on this. Okay, same thing with if the play doesn't work, why I'm getting out, and if I were to re-enter, where I would re-enter, right? So those are supposed to be examples. It's not that I think, I manage it, I'm always going to get the best exit, so you should always follow me. It's to give you an example so you can also develop a management and a style that speaks to you as well. And hopefully, these, at least the trades that I call, can give you some idea on what to follow, show you how the methodology can be applied, because amongst the traders I know, we all trade the similar methodology, but it doesn't mean stylistically we do the same thing, whether it's entries or exits. Okay, so just wanted to kind of reiterate that. I know that this ACAM, this kind of thing, that's my play. I'm okay with the spread. I know that it's going to be a little bit tougher to trail, but with a good larger time frame, with a good entry pattern, a good size stop to account for the spread, I'm not worried about it. Okay, so if it works, it works. Otherwise, if we take some slippage on the way out, it's not going to be a big deal, because we did size for a decent size stop. Okay, I think it's probably maxed out around like 4.5 Rs if you'd kept it up to the top there. I don't expect anyone to capture all of it, right? Half of it is usually pretty good. All right, so hopefully you did well today to kind of close out the week. I didn't think it was the easiest week or the most active week. We still have another couple weeks or so before earnings season picks up and activity will pick up in kind. Okay, so that's going to do it for this week and today's market wrap. Hope everyone has a great 4th of July weekend, and I will talk to you on Monday. All right, have a good weekend.